A single human ship drifts through deep space. The human pilot, Oven, is alone. He has been alone for years. No crew, no messages, no hope of return. He is on a long-range salvage mission near dead star systems where no one survives. His ship detects a weak distress signal. The signal repeats only 3 words. "Save us, please." Oven almost ignores it. Rescue missions are traps. Aliens fear humans. Humans are known as destroyers. The signal comes from an abandoned alien station orbiting a dying red star. Oven debates. If he docks, he may die. If he leaves, someone will die. His loneliness wins. As he approaches, scanners show life signs, 4 of them. Power is failing, oxygen is low. The station should have been empty for centuries. Suspense builds. Doors do not open fully. Lights flicker. Something is watching him. Then he hears a voice, soft, afraid, and female. "Welcome to my Chen Sci-Fi love story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe." The human ship Wanderer moved slowly through the dark, its engines low and tired. Old metal creaked softly as it drifted past dead stars and broken planets. No signals, no traffic, no life. Inside the cockpit sat Oven Hale, the only human on board. He had been alone for a very long time. Oven stared at the stars through the wide front window. He had stopped counting the days years ago. Out here, time did not matter, only survival did. He ate when the ship told him to eat. He slept when his body forced him to rest. He spoke only to the ship's cold voice and his own thoughts. Humans were not meant to live alone for this long. But Oven had no choice. The galaxy beyond human space was dangerous. Many races feared humans, some hated them, others hunted them. So Oven stayed far away, salvaging broken stations and dead ships, collecting old technology no one wanted. It was quiet work, safe work. Or so he believed. A soft sound broke the silence. Beep, beep, beep. Oven frowned, his eyes moved to the control panel. "Signal," he muttered. The ship's computer responded in a flat tone. "Unknown distress transmission detected." Oven froze. Distress signals were rare in this sector. This part of space was known as the Grave Belt, a region abandoned after an ancient war. Ships that entered did not return. Slowly, Oven leaned forward. "Play it," he said. At first, there was only static. Then a voice. Weak, broken, full of fear. "Save us, please, save us." The voice repeated again and again, same words, same tone. Oven's heart tightened. He knew better. Distress calls were often traps. Pirates used them. Hostile species used them. Even automated systems used fake signals to lure scavengers. And humans were not welcome guests. Oven reached toward the console, ready to mute the signal. His finger stopped. The voice sounded real. Too real. He closed his eyes and leaned back in his chair. "I can't," he whispered. "I shouldn't." If he docked with an unknown station, he could die. If hostile aliens were waiting, they would not hesitate. Humans had a reputation, a violent one. Oven opened his eyes again and looked at the stars. They did not care. Loneliness pressed on his chest like a heavy weight. He had not spoken to another living being in years. He had not heard a real voice in so long. The signal repeated. "Save us, please." Oven exhaled slowly. "Damn it," he said quietly. He pulled the controls toward him and turned the ship. The Wanderer changed course. The station came into view an hour later. It was massive, old and broken. A ring-shaped structure, cracked and dark, drifting around a dying red star. No lights, no movement, no defense systems. It should have been empty. Scanners showed weak power and failing life support. And 4 life signs. Oven's hands tightened around the controls. 4, he whispered. "How are you still alive?" As the ship approached, the distress signal grew clearer. Still the same words. Still begging. The docking bay doors responded slowly when Oven sent the access code. Metal scraped against metal as the ancient systems struggled to obey. The doors opened just enough for his ship to slip inside. The moment the Wanderer docked, the station shook. Warning lights flashed inside Oven's cockpit. Station power unstable, the computer said. Recommend immediate departure. Oven ignored it. He put on his suit, checked his oxygen and grabbed a small emergency pack. Before opening the airlock he paused. Just look, he told himself, then leave. The airlock opened with a hiss. Cold, stale air rushed in. Oven stepped onto the station. The hallway was dark. Emergency lights flickered weakly along the walls, casting long shadows. The metal floor was cracked and worn. Symbols from many alien languages covered the walls, faded with age. This station had once housed many species. Now it felt like a tomb. Oven moved carefully, his boots echoing softly. His scanner beeped, guiding him deeper into the station. The life signs were ahead. As he walked, he felt it. Eyes on him. He stopped. Nothing moved. Get a grip, he whispered. The scanner led him to a sealed chamber door. The metal was thick, reinforced and covered in scratches. Something had tried to break in. Oven placed his hand on the control panel. Hello, he said, his voice echoing slightly. I heard your signal. There was no answer. He tried the controls. The door opened slowly, releasing a breath of warm air. Light spilled out. Oven stepped inside. And froze. 4 figures stood before him. 4 alien women. They looked different from each other, clearly from different species, yet they stood close together, united by fear. One was tall and slender, her skin faintly glowing with soft blue light. Her eyes were large and shining, filled with caution. Another was shorter, her body covered in smooth scales, her breath slow and controlled like a reptile. The third was small and thin, with pale skin and wide black eyes that reflected the light. The last had wings folded tightly behind her back, one wing torn and badly injured. They were weak, hungry, and terrified. The moment they saw Oven, they stepped back. One of them gasped. A human. Fear rippled through the room. Oven raised his hand slowly. I'm not here to hurt you, he said calmly. The words sounded strange in his ears. He had not spoken this gently in years. The glowing woman stepped forward, shaking. You are alone, she asked in broken human speech. Yes, Oven answered, I am. They exchanged glances. Then one by one, they lowered themselves to the floor. They knelt. The winged woman's voice broke as she spoke. Please, she said, save us. Her head lowered. Take us with you. Oven's breath caught. Aliens did not kneel to humans. Aliens feared humans. What happened here? Oven asked softly. The scaled woman answered, her voice cold but tired. Our worlds are gone, war came, fire followed. The small one continued. We ran, hid, waited. The glowing woman looked up at Evan, tears forming in her eyes. No one came. Evan felt something twist deep inside him. How long? He asked. Cycles, the winged woman replied, many. The station's lights flickered again. Evan checked his scanner. Oxygen levels were dangerously low. Without another word, he opened his emergency pack and handed out food units and oxygen masks. The women stared at the items as if they were unreal. You're helping us, the small one whispered. Yes, Evan said, eat. They hesitated, then obeyed. Silence filled the chamber as they ate slowly, carefully, afraid it might be taken away. Evan leaned against the wall, watching them. He felt strange. Not alone. When they were stronger, they spoke. They told him about the war, about the enemy that burned worlds and erased species, about how the station was hidden and forgotten. And humans? Evan asked. The scaled woman's eyes narrowed. We were warned about humans. The glowing woman nodded. They said humans destroy everything. Evan gave a sad smile. Sometimes, he said, only when we must. The women studied him. This human was not a monster. He did not shout, he did not threaten, he did not demand. He listened. An alarm suddenly screamed through the station. Red lights flashed violently. Evan's scanner lit up. Multiple ships. Fast. Armed. The winged woman's face drained of color. They found us. Evan turned toward the exit. Come with me, he said firmly. The scaled woman hesitated. They will follow you. Evan met her gaze. I know. Another explosion rocked the station. Evan extended his hand. I won't leave you. One by one they took it. And ran. The station shook again. Metal screamed as something struck the outer hull. Dust fell from the ceiling. The emergency lights flickered wildly, painting the corridor in red and shadow. Evan ran. The 4 alien women followed as fast as their weak bodies allowed. The winged woman stumbled, her injured wing dragging behind her. Evan stopped, turned, and lifted her without a word. She gasped softly, surprised by his strength. Hold on, he said. They reached the docking bay just as another explosion tore through the station. The sound was deep and violent, like space itself was being torn apart. Enemy ships. Too close. Evan slammed the control panel. Seal the bay, he shouted. The Wanderer's airlock opened. Evan rushed inside, carrying the winged woman. The others followed, fear burning in their eyes. The airlock closed. A second later, the station behind them exploded. The force slammed into the Wanderer, throwing everyone to the floor. Warning alarms filled the ship. Hull damage detected, the computer said. Multiple hostile vessels inbound. Evan pushed himself up and moved fast. Strap in, he ordered. The women obeyed without question, pulling themselves into crash seats. Their hands shook, their hearts raced. The ship trembled as Evan took the pilot's seat. Through the front window, enemy ships appeared, dark, sharp shapes moving with deadly purpose. The same enemy that destroyed worlds. The same enemy that hunted survivors. The glowing woman whispered, "They will kill us." Evan's jaw tightened. "No," he said quietly, "they won't." The Wanderer surged forward. Enemy fire streaked past the ship, burning lines of light across the darkness. One blast struck the shields, shaking the hull. The women cried out. Evan didn't slow down. He flipped several switches, his hands steady. "Combat systems online," the computer announced. The scaled woman stared at the console. "This is a civilian ship," she said. "It cannot fight them." Evan smiled grimly. "It used to be." He pulled a lever. Hidden panels slid open along the ship's hull. Old human weapons powered up, their energy levels climbing fast. The first enemy ship exploded in a flash of white light. The women stared in shock. Evan twisted the controls, moving the Wanderer like it was alive. Enemy fire chased them, but Evan anticipated every move, every attack. Another enemy ship vanished in fire. Then another. The small woman whispered, "One ship against many." The winged woman looked at Evan with wide eyes. "You are alone." "Yes," Evan said, "but I'm human." The enemy ships adjusted tactics, spreading out, attacking from different angles. Evan felt the pressure rise. They were too many. The ship shuddered as shields dropped lower. Evan knew he had seconds to decide. He reached for a hidden control and pressed it. A single signal burst from the Wanderer, racing into space. Human emergency code. The scaled woman noticed. "You called for help?" she asked. Evan nodded. "They may not answer." The glowing woman swallowed. "And if they do?" Evan didn't answer. The battle grew worse. Enemy weapons struck the hull, systems failed one by one, smoke filled the cockpit. Evan fought on, destroying 2 more ships, but his breathing grew heavy. The women held each other, waiting for death. Then, space changed. A deep vibration passed through the ship, not from weapons, not from explosions. From something massive. The enemy ships froze. Then panic spread through their formation. A new light appeared in the darkness. Then another. Then hundreds more. Human warships. Huge, silent, powerful. They emerged from jump space like gods of metal and fire. The enemy fleet turned to flee. They didn't get the chance. Human weapons fired. The battle ended in seconds. The enemy ships were erased, not destroyed, erased. Silence returned. The women stared out the window, unable to speak. The scaled woman finally whispered, This is humanity." Evan exhaled slowly and leaned back in his seat. "Yes." A human cruiser moved closer to the Wanderer. A calm voice filled the cockpit. "This is the Human Defense Fleet. Evan Hale, you are ordered to stand down." Evan smiled faintly. "Good to hear your voice," he replied. Medical teams arrived soon after. The women were taken gently, carefully, treated not as prisoners but as guests. They expected fear. They found kindness. Human doctors spoke softly. Human hands were gentle. Food was given freely. No one shouted. No one threatened. The winged woman's injury was treated. Her pain faded. The small woman laughed for the first time in years. Evan watched from a distance, feeling something he had forgotten. Peace. They were taken to human space. Bright worlds, clean cities, endless skis. The women were given a choice. They could leave. They could stay. They chose to stay. The glowing woman spoke for them. "We asked you to save us," she said to Evan. "You did more." Evan shook his head. "I just answered a call." News spread quickly. Alien survivors began to come forward, stories of humans protecting, not destroying. The galaxy listened. Humanity's name changed. Not conquerors. Not monsters. Protectors. Evan stood by a window on a quiet station, watching ships come and go. He was no longer alone. The 4 women stood behind him. The winged woman stepped closer. "Why did you come?" she asked softly. "You could have left." Evan thought for a moment. Then he answered, "No one should die alone." The stars shone brightly outside. For the first time in years, Evan smiled.